Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the Toy Box Killer.
What's up?
What's up? Here we are again. How's this? Or is it better with it down?
Yeah. Look good. I'm sorry, it's chili mango, dude. And it just fucks up with my
Plus, you're drinking it out of your old coffee.
Yeah, because I gotta. The merch. Check out the merch, guys. Hey.
The muscle.
Pink
the
salmon.
The merch. You should put like little guns right here to be like the merch.
Oh shit.
The gun station.
Dude, where have you been with all these ideas? That's actually a pretty good idea. What did you say?
The gun station?
No, before that one.
Oh, just so you can be like, check out the merch.
Check out the guns, right?
No, I said check out the merch.
Oh, the merch.
But I said put two
muscles,
put
right?
two guns here.
Like actual guns or muscles?
No, like actual guns. Like
guns,
put little pictures of guns to be like the gun show.
You heard it here first, dude.
Exclusive tea.
Welcome to part 2.
Welcome to part 2.
The sick and twisted
Minds.
David, right?
Yes. David and
Toy box
Cindy.
killer.
It wasn't just him, it was her.
Yeah, I guess it was both of them.
She was an accomplice.
Yeah, you're right.
But, so I think we'll just dive right into it. So don't forget merch, links, Apple Podcasts. We are going to get into what happened basically after they were arrested.
Right.
Like I said, David was already like in his like 50s, 60s, so he was old. He was not like he wasn't like young like a normal serial killer. Like he's been doing this for a long time.
Right.
It is said that he has up to like 60 plus victims because people just simply don't know when he started. And also, I get into a little bit more too, but they never really found bodies either, even though like they just have no idea where he put them.
Well, I saw in the documentary that there was catfish in that body of water you was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And that he actually described it. And he'll wrap them in chicken wire.
Oh.
And then you know how the bodies will blow up and they'll tear up. And then the catfish will eat them.
I didn't see that.
He's actually on film.
Oh.
Saving his daughter, I guess. Because he had a daughter, right?
Yes. So she comes into the story for the third survivor.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. Spoiler alert. No, but I didn't know that though.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything about that. Just basically.
They actually searched that lake for bodies.
I saw that. But I didn't know that part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least.
Chicken wire. Mm-hmm.
Chicken wire. Interesting. I mean, not surprised. Would never have thought of that.
Right.
But okay.
Which would explain how most of the bodies they didn't find them.
Yeah, that would explain it. Because I know that they did search the lake and like they came up empty. Mm-hmm. So that's why like that makes a lot more sense. They said that like it could have been like whatever was in the lake could have ate them, but I didn't know that. So that definitely like makes a ton of sense, right, to be honest. So we'll get into the arrest now. So during the arrest, you know, obviously there was like a ton of press. So because of all of the press, survivors started to come out. So the first one that came public, her name was Angelica Montano. I'm really bad at last names, so I am really sorry. Unfortunately, Angelica did pass away during the second trial by drug overdose. So rest in peace, Angelica. But there isn't a lot about her case, and it actually is pretty sad on why there isn't a lot about her case. So she said the exact same thing happened to her, only like I think it was like just a couple months before Cynthia. She was tortured, abused, all this other stuff for about 2 to 3 days, and then they just like threw her on the side of the road, basically. She did report it, and police did not believe her. They just were just like, okay, there was never a follow-up or anything like that. Right,
because he was keeping them on psychedelics too, right?
Yes, so he was drugging them pretty much constantly, especially with the third survivor. It's a little bit more apparent, but yeah, he kept them drugged pretty much the entire time, which also induced amnesia. But also at the same time, you know, when police find these girls, they're all like drugged out, and they're just like, okay, like, I'm sure this is what happened. Right. So she did report it. They just, they just didn't believe her, and they didn't do a follow-up. The sad thing is she was an acquaintance of his, and she actually went to his house, it is said, to borrow cake mix. And that's where he drugged her and kept her. So.
What kind of cake? Cheesecake?
Probably.
I love cheesecake. You know, I know what you're thinking. I'm fat, right? So I like cake.
Oh my God.
I really don't like cake.
That's not what I was thinking.
Well, I don't like cake.
Okay.
And that may be surprising because, you know, I'm heavy set. But cheesecake, dude.
That makes more sense, though.
Cheesecake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get two fat people's things, cheese and cake.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Cake doesn't, I don't really like cake. Besides cheesecake and tres leches. But I'm Mexican, so.
I can't do tres leches.
Get out.
The texture is just too much for me.
It's moist.
It's wet.
Moist.
It's the texture that throws me. Hey, I'm only half Mexican, so I have an excuse.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, not really, but like I like to say that I do. So the third survivor, her name is Kelly Garrett. So she was actually identified by a video that they found. So not only were there audio tapings, they also recorded...
The tattoo, right?
Yes. So there was a video that they filmed, obviously, during all of this, and they filmed every single one of them.
Yeah.
And so with hers, they identified her with an ankle tattoo that she actually had. So her stuff, like her kidnapping and all that, happened July 24th, 1996. So 3 years before. She was a friend of David's daughter, Jessie Ray. So she was a newlywed and she got in a fight with her husband that night. And she decided, you know, like, fuck it. I want to go out with my friends. I want to go to the bar, play some pool, have a couple drinks, you know, like, fuck him. I don't want to be home right now, basically. You know, normal, completely normal. So she's out with her friend, Jessie Ray. They, you know, were having a good time. They were drinking. I guess, supposedly, Jessie kind of excused herself and was just like, hey, I need to go make a quick phone call. So she called her dad and told her, like, I have something new that you can play with, speaking about Kelly. So at this point, that's when Jessie went ahead and roofied her beer that she was drinking. So she was, like, you know, super stumbly, kind of like, woo, whatever. And she asked Jessie, like, hey, can you give me a ride home at least? And so she was like, yeah, for sure. But just if you don't mind, we need to make a quick stop at my dad's. I just need to go grab something really quick. And so Kelly was like, yeah, no, for sure. Like, that's fine. Like, I don't care. As long as I get home. They get to David's house. And then that is when he is wearing his, like, park ranger uniform. And he also has, like, a gun to Kelly, basically, like, forcing her to stay there. Right. So she was treated the exact same as all the other women for 2 to 3 days, except for this time, because like with Cynthia, she was able to recall pretty much everything, and with Kelly, they kept her heavily drugged to the point where I think they wanted to overdose her, to be honest with you, because the reason, like, as I talk about this more, you'll be like, okay, that makes sense. So she was like in and out of consciousness pretty much like the whole time. She later remembered more as time went on, but like, you know, she was in and out. She was just, like, on drugs, on all these types of drugs, basically the entire time. And so Ray thought that she was dead, I guess. So when she woke up and he saw that she was breathing, he slashed her throat and they threw her off, like, on the side of the road. So that's why I think that they were planning on, like, overdosing her, maybe. And then that's when they saw, like, oh, these aren't working. So he went ahead and killed her, but he still just threw her on the side of the road. But of course, she was also naked and only wearing a dog collar at this point. She did survive, obviously. She survived, and she also went to, like, she got medical care. She was at the hospital and all that stuff. But this is the sad thing. So her husband and her in-laws did not believe her story at all. The husband thought she was lying. They all thought that she went on a drug bender for those days and was cheating on him the entire time.
Right.
Like, she doesn't have a fucking slashed throat.
I mean, yeah, I guess the throat kind of, like, I mean, because I will understand the husband, right? Because I've been in that situation where, you know, the girl just leaves for like a day or two and then she cheated on you. You know what I mean? Fucking bitch. I get it. I get it. It's like, nah, you know, you did it, you weren't with your friend. I'm not dumb. You feel me? But the slashed throat, that's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, know? So that's why it's just like, dude, come on.
Right.
Like, she has a slashed throat and you're still like, no, you're cheating on me. It's like, with who? With who?
Fucking Edward Scissorhands, dude?
Exactly. So it's like, who was she cheating on you with?
Imagine?
No, because she'll get a haircut instead. But yeah, so like they completely wrote her off. Like even her in-laws, like nobody believed her story, and neither did police because she was on drugs when she was found. So they were just like, no, you're just a druggie.
Wait, but they didn't like the slash of the throat?
Exactly, that's what I mean. It's like I guess, was because of the way she was found. Again, a dog collar and naked,
right?
A slashed throat. Like, this does not have, I was on a drug bender and I cheated on you.
And if it was, that's a hell of a party, dude. End up naked with a dog collar?
Yeah,
shit,
for 3 days.
Who's partying like that?
Exactly.
No, I'm playing. I'm a man of the Lord, dude.
So soon, like just months after she survived and everything, he divorced her, and she relocated to Colorado, where she did have amnesia, and she did not. She also kind of wrote it off at the same time, because the only thing she knew, like, she's like, I know I got raped,
right.
But she just didn't remember. So even herself kind of wrote it off for a while as well, until they identified her, and then that's when, like, you know, she was working with therapists and all that stuff, so she was able to, like, recall a lot of those memories.
And she was having nightmares too, right? Like,
yes.
Nothing was the same after that.
No, nothing was the same.
Even though she didn't remember.
Yeah, like, she was obviously, you know, she was affected by it, like,
right.
for the rest of her life, for sure. But she just couldn't remember why. Like, the only thing, like I said, she knew was that she knew she got raped by the toy box killer, but she had no idea what happened.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and they didn't look into this guy. But I also read that he was tied with the Mexican cartel.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was tied into the Mexican cartel, and a lot of his victims, he'll sell them to them.
Oh.
So maybe that's why he had power in that way. Because you know how the cartel is tied to the police and all of that?
Yeah.
Because I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it how, like, I mean, not that I want to get away with some shit like that, but I don't really think I can.
How? Right. Like, how do you get away with it for so long?
I think he was integrated in some stuff, you know.
Probably then. Like, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, Mexican cartel. He'll sell them. He'll go into Mexico and sell them as sex slaves to them. After he was done with them.
Yeah, maybe that's why also too some of the bodies were never found, or even to this day they're still having a lot of trouble finding survivors.
Oh yeah, dude.
That could be it. There probably just isn't anymore. Not even because of his hand necessarily.
The cartel.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't know that part, especially with how his daughter, because his daughter would help.
What a sack of shit, dude.
Yeah, his daughter would help recruit. She would get like friends.
The whole family is just all fucked up.
Yeah, and apparently he has 2 daughters, but the second one, she was never identified, always stay out of the press. I think she just wanted to, like, completely distance herself from her sister and her dad. Like, no one, like, I could not find her name anywhere. Even, like, to this day, like, you still cannot find her name. So, like, I don't blame her.
That's a smart one right there.
Yeah. She was probably like, what the fuck is going on?
Yep.
That makes a lot of sense, though, with the drug cartel. Like, at least, like, now, you're just like, maybe that's why it was so hard.
Right. That and the catfish, I mean, it's a perfect cover-up.
Exactly, especially with any type of power helping you, too.
Right.
Not necessarily the police, but, you know, someone higher. So now I'm gonna kind of go into the toy box a little bit. I described it in part 1 a little bit, kind of describing what happened to Cynthia. But
how can I describe it?
You want to?
Yes. Okay, so because I'm a mechanic.
Okay.
Right.
Yes.
So I don't want to say I'm impressed but I am impressed.
From the tool standpoint.
From the fucking engineering part of it.
Okay. Because he also was like, you know, he did this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's understandable.
Yeah. It was an actual jigsaw fucking funhouse. And it was so impressive in the fact that it was soundproof, the way he built that thing. He had AC in it, right? Because the motherfucker wanted to be comfy. He wanted to be comfy, dude, didn't he? All the tools that he used was just like phenomenal engineering, right? As a man point of view. But he just used it for the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if he would have put that into his mentality into other shit, he could have probably came up with the Teslas by now, in the early 90s.
Probably.
Right? Fuck Elon Musk, dude. Is this guy? He could have been the next rocket engineer.
Plus Elon Musk is, I guess he's officially in the 512.
That's true.
Relocated now. Yeah. He's in Austin.
Yeah, the mega factory. I want to apply there. Wait, you don't like Tesla?
Well, no, I don't care for it, but it's just going to make Austin more expensive.
It's heading that way.
That's why I'm like...
Joe Rogan's here too. Alex Jones is here.
Which one's that one again? Oh, the one that
It's turning the frogs gay. I wasn't making fun of you, dude. If this gets to you,
somehow.
he's like somehow like he's one of my fucking. I don't want to say
idol?
no. I don't want to say that because the
Your
only
favorite.
idol is Christ Jesus,
He's one of
right?
your favorites.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. What am I like inspirers?
Like top 10s?
Oh yeah, it's top 3.
Top 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. It's Christ.
Uh-huh.
Eddie Bravo, and
I just like that long pause. Christ.
I was trying to think.
It's like I can physically see your brain like scanning
Just
through files. The little man in your brain's
scanning for Mexicans thing.
Um,
No, but hey, the toy box.
So yes, the toy box was
wow,
insane.
amazing.
And there's photos. I saved a few photos already. You've seen them, but yeah, like oh my god, like I cannot even imagine just walking in there or just even looking at it from the outside. Also, too, apart from like the engineering side and all the tools that he made. So the interior of the toolbox, basically, like I said, it had the gynecologist chair right in the middle. The ceiling was completely mirrored, so the victims would basically always see what's happening to them unless their eyes were closed.
Right.
Also for his enjoyment too. I mean, let's just be real here. Along the walls was very like violent pornographic images, also diagrams of all the tools or the devices that he had and what they did. So it was just like no matter what, it was just terrible things. There was also lots of whips, chains, pulleys, straps, clamps, electrical clamps that he would do. He would clamp some of the girls' nipples and electrocute them that way. Yes, so electrical clamps, surgical blades, saws, and of course sex toys. I kind of already briefly mentioned the other sex toys. Those were the 2 main ones. The nailed dildo and the machined one. Again,
you gotta put a picture of that shit.
I'm gonna blur like some of it though.
It's fucking crazy.
Because I don't think you can put that stuff on YouTube anyway. So I'm gonna blur.
Fuck them.
You can't put. No, I'm not.
Fuck not. No, YouTube, we love you.
Like I said, I'm gonna blur to where you can see the nails though.
Okay.
Like you'll see the nails, but you just won't see like the other stuff. So there's also that wooden contraption, like I was saying. What was it? Oh, and there's also a video camera set up in the room as well, because like I said, they would record every single torture.
Do you think we can get access to those films?
I doubt it.
Would
they
you
probably would. No, they would probably be on like the dark web.
You wouldn't see them?
No, I wouldn't. I can't.
I'm just curious. I probably would start seeing it.
Yeah.
And then it'll be because it's real, dude. It's not like a movie.
Yeah, I think if I were to even do it, even if I were just to hear like a scream, right. I just would.
Because it's real, right?
I would just not want to.
Yeah.
Even those like found footage movies, like for example, like Megan's Missing. That one went viral. I watched it back like in 2014.
But that was fake, though.
It was fake, but like how it's like the found footage, like even that kind of stuff freaks me out. Like if I know it's like purely horror, like the Saw movies or Hostel, like it's fake and it's not like some found footage type shit. Like it's in my mind, I'm like, okay, like I know this is fake. So that's why even those I can't do.
Which that movie is nothing compared to the Poughkeepsie tapes.
The what tape?
Oh man.
Oh my god, no.
The Poughkeepsie tapes.
Poughkeepsie.
Dude, it's you won't be able to watch it. I
doubt it.
You won't.
I doubt
you
it.
won't.
Is it supposed to be like a found footage type thing? Oh, okay.
But fucked up.
Yeah, no.
Kind of like this guy.
Kind of like the Siberian whatever.
The Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Now I'm in a whole different level, right?
No, there's this one movie that's supposed to be found footage as well that everyone talks about. I think it's like Siberian something. I could be wrong.
I don't know. The Poughkeepsie tapes, dude. Watch it if you're strong.
I'm not.
I doubt it. I watched one scene.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck that. It's too strong. I couldn't watch it.
Yeah. No. If someone actually did watch it, just like, I don't know, 1 to 10 rating. 1 as in 10 as in I didn't finish it.
10?
What about like the audio recordings? Would you listen to those? Not the ones that he did, but like of the stuff that happened.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I mean, I couldn't even listen to the beginning of the tape, and that wasn't even describing anything. It was, well, I mean, it was, but it was just too much, dude.
Yeah.
Just knowing that it's real, it just like, fuck that.
And like to think like, you know, for example, like some police officers, like they have to listen to that and see that. And
well, did you hear what happened to the illustrator?
To the who?
The illustrator.
Mm-mm.
The girl, there's an illustrator who committed suicide.
Oh.
Like she had to go in the house and then she had to illustrate everything for like a few days, and then she went back to Arizona, I believe, and then she committed suicide that same night because it was just too much. She couldn't handle it.
Oh my god, no, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know it's fucked up, dude.
Imagine the jury though.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I would refuse to do any kind of part of that.
Like I said, there wasn't a total victim count because, you know, they don't know. So 60 plus murders, possibly. There was only 3 survivors that we know of. So even though there was video and audio recordings, there wasn't like, you know, 60 plus, obviously. Mm-hmm. But they did get a lot of these numbers, like of these murders and stuff like that from his diary, actually. He had multiple where he would do like in detail what happened, who it was, and all this other stuff. So even though they weren't able to find bodies, you know, as I also mentioned earlier, but they also had like evidence of like video, audio, and also his own writing. So they're like, we could only assume so much type thing. Once arrested and in jail, Cindy quickly turned on David because they offered her a plea deal. So she told him everything. She's like, I know at least of 14 murders. And it also wasn't just him and I. No, it was actually his daughter and his friend, Dennis. Dennis has a last name that I forgot to write down. So, Dennis. So she said, like, oh no, it wasn't just us. Like, his daughter and his friend also did this too. And they also murdered someone together. So, not just me. If you're going to bring me down, you got to bring everyone down. So, obviously they were like, okay, well, who the fuck is Dennis and Jesse then? So then that's when, like, obviously with Kelly's story, they're like, oh, so she's an accomplice, at least in some way. And she also told, Cindy also told police that they mostly went for sex workers just because they weren't going to be missed. You know, they're easy to grab, drug addicts and stuff like that. So they had a type in a way, even though, like, physically there wasn't a type, there was, like, somewhat of a type that they went after. Just, you know, easy access. When she said that Dennis was part of it, she also mentioned that they killed his ex-girlfriend, Dennis's ex-girlfriend, Marie Parker, and she was 22. It's not said why necessarily, it's just that, like, they did this. So Dennis turned around and he said that David forced him, that he had a gun to his head to strangle her. Like, after they tortured her, they, like, you know, they did the same process to her too. So Dennis said that, oh no, David forced me to do this. He had a gun to my head and all other stuff. But then little did he know they had a video of the murder. So they're just like, you're right on tape doing it though. So I don't know what you want. He did get sentenced. So he got convicted of 2nd-degree murder and conspiracy to commit 1st-degree murder. And he got 2 15-year terms. But in 2010, he was paroled after 11 years. His release got delayed, and so while he was waiting for it to be released, like for his parole and stuff like that, he committed some probation violation to where now he's not going to get out until 2021. So,
which is next year. Yeah,
which is next year. He was originally going to be out in 2010 already. So, and all of this happening, like all these sentencings happened between 2001 and 2002. Because I guess, like, there's a lot of different things happen with trials. Like, in one of the trials, the judge died. So they had to, like, restart it. And then Angelica, she passed away. And since she was a witness, they had to restart it again. So these were all mainly happening for David. So that's why, like, it's 2001 to 2002. All of these sentencings, were happening. Because it took a while. So during this time too, though, David said he had another accomplice named Billy Bowers, but David killed him and they never found the body. So he had 2 accomplices that were like friends that we know of. And then so Jesse, his daughter, was found guilty of kidnapping with Kelly and was sentenced to 9 years in prison, but 6 of those years were able to be served outside of prison and on parole. So she is out. She's free. She's free woman.
Yeah.
And then Cindy, she was sentenced to 36 years because of her plea bargain. But in prison, her and David were writing love letters, back and forth to each other. David even got like a tattoo of her face on his arm. So because of that, she was like, "Oh no, I'm lying. None of this happened. I was just saying it. I made this all up." But they were just like, "Well, we got way too much evidence on both of y'all, so shut up." Right. So nothing happened, basically, because of that. But she did try to like recant her confession. She was released in 2019.
No shit.
Yes.
Cindy was?
Cindy. She was released in 2019. She wasn't released on parole, but there was a new law that violent criminals are required to at least serve 85% of their sentence. So that's what she did. She got out, and because like she didn't get out on parole, she just got out. She does not have to tell the state where she lives, who she's with. She doesn't have to tell the state anything. And normally you would. Like you would have to prove residency and all this other stuff in order to get out. But because it wasn't parole, it was just here, now you're free. She was able to do and go wherever she wanted to. So no one knows. At least what I could find, like no one knows where she's at.
She could be next door. Why they do that? Kind of weird.
Well, there you go.
Oh man, I believe that if you commit shit like that, right? I believe that you waive certain rights to your life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To the point where it's like, hey, nah, man, your life will never be the same. You ended someone's life. Exactly. Your life is not going to be the same.
And it's not even like, let's say she didn't kill anyone. Like, she was also torturing and raping these women.
Right.
Like, it wasn't like a simple, like, oh, she was an accomplice and she was, like, acting in these as well. Mm-hmm. So that's why, like, I know, like, there's so much controversy around prison reform right now, but there's just some people that cannot just live a normal life after the things they did.
Yeah, of course not.
Like, if it was like an accidental thing, different story, but this was not accidental. This was like pure evil.
Right.
Even on her part too. Doesn't matter if it was like she was just listening to a boyfriend. Like, she could have left, or she could have just left. Or when she found out how bad he was, when he started telling her like, "Oh, I killed all these girls," when they first started dating, she could have left. So it's like, no, I don't know. She definitely does not deserve to be out, right, considering what happened.
No.
I mean, as far as we know, she didn't kill anyone, but still, it's just kind of like fucked up.
No, yeah, dude, yeah, that's...
But at least now on to David. So like I said, the trials just took forever because a bunch of things just kept happening. So eventually he took a plea deal for all three girls, like the kidnapping, the torture. They got no murder on him because there was no proof of murder. Like, they weren't able to find a body. They weren't able to find anything. So he took a plea deal, like I said. He was sentenced to 224 years in 2001.
Damn.
And then he eventually started telling the police, like, the things he knew. Because at first he was saying that, "Oh, I didn't do anything." So he told the police, like, "Oh, I'm going to tell you guys everything I know." And he actually died of a heart attack on the way to that interrogation on May 28th, 2002. So his testimony and like the real truth died along with him.
What happened to his karma, dude?
I know.
What happened to his karma? That's some fucked up shit, dude. Yeah. He tortured and raped women for decades, dude. And then nothing happens to him? Just
like a heart attack.
Right.
I know. But FBI, as of 2011, that's like the newest thing I've seen about this case. They said, "We're still getting good leads as long as we're getting those leads, and as long as the exposure in the press keeps generating interest in this case, we're going to keep investigating this." So they're still looking for bodies, survivors, honestly anything about David at all. So I don't know if you have any listeners in New Mexico, but let them know. Call, email, whatever. They're still looking for evidence and all this other stuff. Even it is a pretty old article, 2011, but I mean, I doubt, like, if someone were to call tomorrow, they won't be like, "Oh no, it's been too long."
Right.
Yeah, so that's the Toy Box Killer.
What a sick fuck, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
real life Jigsaw, for real.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I didn't guess go into as much detail as I thought because like you have a lot of information too that I didn't even know. So it's like you can really go into like theories and stuff about this guy for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Mr. David, I'm a big old fuck you to you, sir. IKEA. I thought, in my opinion, that Ed Gein, my boy Ed Gein, I thought that was like the worst of the worst, dude.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
I mean, because if you think about it, Ed Gein, yes, he did gross things, you know. Yeah. But as far as we know, he only had like 2 to 3 victims versus some people have like in the double digits.
Right.
And even with him, he's like 60 plus. So who knows how many?
Yeah. And I mean, murder is murder, right?
Yeah.
But torturing them and then like that's some other sick shit, dude.
Yeah, that's like another.
You know,
that's like a whole other ballpark.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, I don't know. This, like, just breathing also with it too. And I know I didn't go super into detail, but to be honest, like, the more I got into it, the more just, like, uncomfortable I was. That I was just, like, I did not like it. I mean, the other guy, like, yes, his stuff was really bad, but, like, he just, like, pissed me off because he was a shitty person that kept slipping through the cracks. He wasn't. Like, well, not that he wasn't a shitty person, but he wasn't, like, slipping through the cracks of justice.
Right, he never got caught.
Like, he never got caught until the end.
Right.
So that's why it's just, like, I don't know. But, like, also just the things that he was doing and, like, what really got me to where I was just, like, I don't like this is the dog part. That's when, like, my skin, I could just feel, like, just, like, crawling. Like, that was so gross.
I didn't read anything about that.
I cannot, like... Because I don't have any dogs. I have family dogs. And those guys are, oh my God, they're my world.
Right.
So that's why it's just like, I just cannot imagine it at all.
They're like 1/4 of a child. Pretty much. This guy was another thing. I was not expecting none of that. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Because the documentary that I saw, it talked nothing about that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the things that I was reading didn't talk about some of the things in your documentary either.
Mexican Mafia.
Definitely, like, I guess, like, watch the documentary. We can link it down below. Was it on YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah. So we can link it in the description in case you guys also want to watch that as well.
At your own risk, dude, because...
Yeah.
It does show, like, the toy box, the inside of the toy box. How the fuck did he get a surgical chair? That's what the fuck I want to know.
I want to know, how do you get the gynecologist chair? Like, it's not like he was a doctor. He was a mechanic. So it's like, where did he get his hands on all this stuff? And even, like, the surgical tools that he had. Like, where do you buy all of it? I mean, nowadays, like, you could just literally go on Amazon and buy it.
Can you?
But this was, like, in 1990, like, in the 1990s. So it's like, where were you buying this from? There wasn't, like, the internet.
Well, I mean, he was tied to the cartel, so...
Yeah, I mean, like,
it probably came
common
from
knowledge, you wouldn't know that. So that's why it's just like, I don't know. But that is true. Probably, like, someone brought it over, or I don't know.
Right.
Or,
yeah,
like,
or
they just, like, knew someone, you know, in New Mexico, and he just got it from them, too.
But that would raise suspicion, though, right?
I mean, not really.
Why do you want a surgical chair?
I mean, but if the doctors are also tied to the cartel...
Yeah, you're right.
So that's why it's like, maybe he knew someone. I don't know.
He was definitely tied up into something, for sure.
Just something, because, like, that is some sadistic shit.
Yeah.
But, like, Cindy was saying, like, you know, he did not treat me like that. He treated me like a princess. He was never, like, rough with me or anything like that. So it's just, like, that's kind of gross.
And then his daughter helping him out was, like, also...
Oh, I know.
Like, sad, dude. Like, how can... It was 4 people, right? How can 4 people collectively be that sick and twisted?
And be okay with it. Which is, like, because with the daughter, it's like, she would do people that she knew, or, like, acquaintances.
Right.
You know, like, she would, like, scout, like, at the bar or something like that.
To help him out.
And it's like, that's just...
Yeah, dude. If any of my friends, or even my own family members, were like that,
yeah,
that's not gonna go out like that.
No.
You don't understand me?
Yeah,
But
and
it's just
last thing I would do, because it's like, what happened to where she was like, okay,
right,
like, I can do this too.
Right.
Like, it's like, like, did she walk in? Or, because I understand, like, I'm a daddy's girl. I love my dad. I'll do anything for my dad. But obviously, I have morals. I mean, my dad does too. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, what happened to where she was like, maybe I can get on this too.
Right.
It's like,
which I heard. Well, I saw the documentary that him and his daughter had a very awkward, close relationship.
oh,
Also,
so that could be
maybe
it then.
that had something to do with it.
Probably.
Maybe he molested her when she was little. I don't know, but it did say that they had a weird ass relationship.
That makes sense then.
Yeah.
To kind of always have like daddy's approval.
Right.
Or
But
attention.
That doesn't. I mean, wouldn't she get jealous with Cindy though, or like the other chicks?
Probably.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's just all fucked up. It's just we don't get it because like
my mind doesn't work like that.
Exactly.
So I just like
exactly.
I don't.
So to us, we're like, dude, we're trying to understand fucking rocket science, but because we're not rocket scientists,
and to them, they're just like, what do you mean? It's so obvious.
X plus 4. Oh, I don't know. If
They're
that's
like,
rocket science.
they're just like this, duh, and we're just like, what?
Right.
I don't know.
We will never know, and that's a good thing.
At least Cynthia and Kelly. Kelly's in. I don't know if she's still in Colorado, but like, with all of these reports and all the stuff that I was reading, she was still in Colorado. Living her best life. Doing her. So great job to Kelly. Cynthia has her 3 beautiful boys. Taking care of her grandmother and still in New Mexico. So great job for both of them for surviving. Honestly.
So you just want to leave it at that?
I think so.
Let's just leave it at that. That was part 2, right?
Yeah. So definitely, like I said, let us know how you feel about these parts. Like if you like them separated. If you like one just big long episode.
One big ass episode, dude.
Doesn't matter to us, but just let us know what y'all prefer. But yeah.
I'll check it out.
Not this one. This was a prototype.
Oh yeah, that's exclusively for cats. But
yes, but not this one. But you can get this one. But yeah, we'll see y'all next week with the new Scary Station podcast. Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.